Good morning, Year 9. Sorry I can't be with you today as I'm in school supporting Bubbles, but let's start off today's lesson with a quick starter as usual. On the board are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions and a GCSE question to have a look at. Please pause the video and in your rough book spend 5 to 10 minutes on these questions trying to complete as many as you can. Pause the video now. And I'll go through the answers with you. So I've got 0.4 times 0.8. Well, if I do 4 times 8, that gives me 32. I then divide that by 100, which gives me 0.32. To do the subtraction, I need to put both of those fractions over the same denominator and then subtract the numerators, and that will give me 5 over 24. To find 1/5 of 25, I divide it by 5, which gives me 5. So to find 3/5, I multiply that by 3 to give me 15. Expanding this double bracket will give me x squared plus x subtract 2. Expanding this cubic bracket will give me x cubed plus 4x squared plus x take away 6. And if you had a go at my GCSE extension question, the answers I was looking for were 2 million and 1,920,000, and it's a decrease. Okay guys, we're going to head into the diagnostic quiz. So these are 5 questions, A, B, C or D. Write down your answers and then I'll go through all the answers with you at the end. Question number 1. The line that joins A and B is known as what? An arc, a chord, a sector or a diameter? Pause the video if you need any extra time. Question number 2. What is the area of a circle with diameter of 20 centimetres? Give your answer in terms of pi. Again, pause the video if you need. Question number 3. Which of the following calculations would give the arc length of this sector? Question number 4. What is the area of this circle in terms of pi? Pause the video if you need any extra time. Question number 5, what is the radius of this circle? The circumference is 100 pi. What's the radius going to be? Okie dokie, I'll go through the answers. Question number 1, this is a chord. It doesn't go through the centre, so it's known as a chord. If it went through the centre, it would be the diameter. For question number 2, the correct answer was C. The diameter is 20, and we know that the area is given by pi r squared. So the radius is 10. 10 squared is 100. So the area is 100 pi. For the next question, the calculation that would give the arc length, so this length here, of this sector, well, the fraction of the entire circle that I have is 40 degrees out of 360. Then we find the circumference by doing pi d, or 2 pi r. Here, my radius is 16, so my diameter is 32, so I've got 32 pi. So the correct answer is C. For question number 4, the area is pi r squared again. This time the radius is 6. So r squared is 36 and the area is 36 pi. And for the last question, I told you the circumference was 100 pi. The radius, if the circumference is given by pi d, or 2 pi r, if that's 100 pi, then I can divide both sides by pi, divide both sides by 2, and my radius is 50. Let's head into today's lesson. I'm going to start off by recapping unit conversions. This is where some people went wrong. There are 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre. There are 100 centimetres in 1 metre. There are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. I'm hoping that's something we all know. If we want to jot down this in your dark blue books, you are welcome to do so. If you're confident, I'm fine for you not to. So if I want to convert 4 metres into centimetres, I know there are 100 centimetres in 1 metre, so I need to multiply it by 100, and that's going to be 400 centimetres. 190 kilometres, we know there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre, so I need to multiply that by 1,000. So that's 190,000 metres. Over to you guys. Pause the video for a minute and convert these for me, please. Convert 112 millimetres into centimetres and 0.6 kilometres into metres. Okay, let's go through the answers. We know there's 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre, so 112 millimetres is going to be 11.2 centimetres, just dividing by 10. And if I've got 0.6 kilometres, I know that there's 1,000 metres in a kilometre, so I need to divide that by 1,000, which gives me 0.0006 metres. I've divided it by 1,000. Over to you guys. In your rough books, please can you convert these measurements into the measurements given. Please pause the video for about 5 to 10 minutes and complete this now. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, let's talk about roads and the speed at which cars travel on different roads in different countries. Here we are in Britain, Great Britain. The speed limits in various different areas within Great Britain. If you live in a built-up area, your speed limit is 30 miles an hour. On a single carriageway, it's 50 miles an hour. On a dual carriageway, it's 60 miles an hour. And on a motorway, it's 70 miles an hour. Here we are in France. In France, on a single carriageway, you can go 50. On a dual carriageway, you can go 90. And on a motorway, you can go 130. So here's my question to you. Pause the video and have a little think. Does that mean cars in France are allowed to travel at 130 miles per hour? Well done to those that have spotted that in England we give speed limits in miles per hour, but actually in France we give them in kilometres per hour. So 50 kilometres per hour, 90 kilometres per hour and 130 kilometres per hour. And that makes much more sense. We're going to start by looking at how do we convert between kilometres and miles. Now 5 miles is equal to 8 kilometres. If we divide both sides of that equation by 5, 1 mile is equal to approximately 1.6 kilometres. I'll go through 2 examples and then there's 2 for you to do. So if the distance from school to London is 88 kilometres, to work out that in miles, I can either choose to do 88 divided by 1.6 and use my calculator. 88 divided by 1.6 gives me 55, so it's 55 miles. Alternatively, I can take my 88, I can divide it by 8, and then multiply that answer by 5, which also gives me 55. I can do the same for the second one. The post box is 0.64 kilometres from the school. I can divide that by 8 to give me 0.08. And then I can multiply that by 5. So it's 0.4 miles away from the school. Over to you guys in your rough books. Please pause the video for 1 minute or so and convert 288 kilometres to miles and 0.032 kilometres to miles. Pause the video now. And the answers I was looking for were 180 miles and 0.02 miles. Let's look at another example, this time going the other way. So I know that Soham is 10 miles away from Bottisham. I want to convert that into kilometres. And to do that, I'm going to start by dividing it by 5, because 5 miles is 8 kilometres. So if I divide it by 5, it gives me 2. And then I take my 2 and I multiply it by 8. So it's 16 kilometres. Milton Keynes is 50 miles. We do the same process. We take 50. We divide it by 5, which gives me 10. Then 10 times 8 will give me 80 kilometres. The local shop is 0.05 miles. To convert that into kilometres, again, we need to do 0.05 divided by 5, which will give me 0.01. Then 0.01 multiplied by 8, so it's 0.08 kilometres. Over to you guys. In your rough books, please pause the video for a couple of minutes and convert these into kilometres for me now, please. And the answers I was looking for: Burwell is 8 kilometres away, Norwich is 88 kilometres away, and the pub is 1.36 kilometres away. But why have we been doing this? We want to have a look at converting speeds, so taking our kilometres, metres, etc., and converting speeds that are given. So I'm told a car travels at 25 kilometres an hour, and I've been asked to convert that into metres per second. Now we know that within an hour there are 60 minutes, and in 60 minutes, for each of those minutes there's another 60 seconds. So 25 kilometres per hour is equal to, if I divide that by 60, 0.416 kilometres per minute, and that's equal to, if I divide that by 60, 0.00694 kilometres per second. However, I've been asked for metres per second, so I need to multiply that by 1,000 because we know there's 1,000 metres in a kilometre. So using my calculator, that's going to be 6.94 to 3 significant figures, metres per second. For my second example, I've been told a car travels at 25 kilometres an hour. Can I convert that into miles per hour? Now, we did lots of practice of converting kilometres to miles, and what we need to do is divide it by 8, because we know that there are 5 miles in 8 kilometres, so we want to work out how many miles in 1 kilometre. So 25 divided by 8 is equal to 3.125. Then we take our 3.125 and we multiply it by 5. And that gives me 15.6 miles per hour. Let's put that together. I've got a dog runs 100 metres in 6 seconds. Can I calculate its average speed in miles per hour? So we need to convert both sets. We need to convert the distance and the time this time. So if the dog runs 100 metres in 6 seconds, that means in a minute, because there are 60 seconds in a minute, I times that by 10, and the dog is running 1,000 metres in 1 minute. If I then times that by 60, I know the dog is running 60,000 metres in 1 hour. That I can then convert into kilometres per hour by dividing it by 1,000. So we're looking at 60 kilometres per hour. But we want miles per hour, so I need to take my 60, I divide it by 8, which gives me 7.5, and then 7.5 times 5 gives me 37.5 miles per hour. So we've taken our original numbers and we've said, well, 100 meters in 6 seconds. That means if I multiply that by 10, that's 1,000 meters in a minute. If I then multiply that by 60, that's 60,000 meters in an hour, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. I then divide it by 1,000 to work out my kilometers per hour. That's 60. Then I want to convert my kilometers into miles by dividing it by 8 and then multiplying it by 5, because we know there are 8 kilometers for every 5 miles. These are the answers. Check we got them right. Okay guys, in your rough books, please pause the video to 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. And finally, these are my extension questions for today's lesson. Please pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these. These are also attached as an attachment on Google Classroom. This is my second set of extension questions, also available as an attachment on Google Classroom. These are the answers to the first section on Google Classroom. And these are the answers I was looking for the second section, putting them in order. And that's the end of today's lesson. Please head on over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket. Thank you very much for coming along. Off you go, have a great day. Goodbye.